Today, we're going to talk about how to tell the difference between a bad torque converter and a bad transmission, what symptoms to look for, and how to figure out which one is causing problems in your vehicle. Let's start with the basics. What is a torque converter? A torque converter uses high-pressure fluid to transfer power from the engine to the transmission. If the engine and transmission were connected directly with solid metal parts, it would wear out fast due to friction. So instead, the torque converter acts like a fluid coupling. It has internal components that transfer power without direct contact, using fluid pressure. This allows smooth engagement and helps the vehicle shift gears. That's the simplified explanation, but it gives you an idea of how important this part is in an automatic transmission system. Signs of a failing torque converter. One of the first signs can be overheating. You might also notice that when you're stopped and then start to accelerate, the vehicle shudders a bit or feels like it's slipping. Sometimes you'll hear a whining noise, and when the transmission shifts, it could kick really hard or behave roughly. When the torque converter starts to fail, your vehicle can behave in some odd and frustrating ways. One common symptom is engine stalling when you come to a complete stop. You might notice the engine shutting off unexpectedly at red lights or in traffic. Another sign is harsh gear changes. If your car gives a noticeable jolt or kick when shifting into the next gear, that could point to a torque converter issue. You might also see a change in stall speed. In normal conditions, your transmission might shift gears at around 2,000 RPM. But if it suddenly needs to rev much higher, maybe 3,000 or more, before it shifts, that could indicate a torque converter issue too. Another sign could be a burning smell, and if you check the fluid, it may be very black and dirty. Lastly, if things get unbalanced inside the torque converter, it could cause vibrations, especially when the vehicle is at a stop. What is an automatic transmission? Automatic transmission is a complex system of gears, solenoids, and levers that automatically shifts through gear ratios as your vehicle gains speed. Think of it like the gear system on a bicycle. When you speed up, you shift to a higher gear. Of course, a transmission is much more advanced than that, but that's the basic idea. It adjusts the gear ratio to match your speed and power needs. Signs of a failing transmission. One of the earliest signs can be metal shavings in the transmission fluid. This usually means internal gears are wearing down or grinding against each other, which is never a good sign. Another symptom is a delay when shifting gears. If there's a noticeable pause or hesitation between shifts, that could indicate something's wrong inside the transmission. Sometimes specific gears may stop working altogether. For example, you might notice that second gear no longer engages, or first gear slips or fails completely. And in more serious cases, if the transmission has completely failed, the car might not move at all. You could shift into gear, press the gas, and nothing happens. That's pretty much it. I tried to give you the symptoms of a bad torque converter and a bad transmission to help you figure out which component might have failed. It can be tricky to diagnose, especially since these two parts work together and their issues might overlap. If you have anything to add, feel free to comment below. If this video was helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Have a great day.